Hey everybody, this is Mike from the One Stop Co-op Shop, and today I'm doing a playthrough with rules explanation for Obsession. I hadn't looked into this game much at first, but then Liz Davidson and Jason Perez covered it on the Dice Tower, and we also talked about it on the Top 200 solo podcast/video series we just finished. And when I found out more about it, I had to try it, because me and my wife are big Jane Austen fans. We've read the books to each other. We're just big nerds like that. And I wanted to see how well a game set in that time period could bring across some of those themes, especially in solo play. Like usual, I'm going to walk you through how to set up the game, as well as the basics of playing it. But if you already know all of that and want to jump right to the playthrough, just use the timestamps. And if you like the content here on the One Stop Co-op Shop, please consider subscribing to the channel, supporting us through Patreon for some great perks, listening to our podcast most Wednesdays and Sundays, checking out our live Twitch playthroughs on Mondays, and joining the conversation on our Discord channel. So Obsession can be played competitively with 2 to 4 players, and if you have some of the expansions, it can go all the way up to 6 players. But it also has solo play right out of the core box, and in the rulebook for the newest expansion, Upstairs Downstairs, they have team-based play that could be adapted to play it cooperatively. Today I'm going to show you the official solo mode, but I have thrown in everything from all of the expansions, and this was a review copy sent to me. So first to set up, you have to get your whole player area going, and every family is going to start with a set of 4 cards, although one of them gets a 5th bonus. Here I'm playing the Honorable Howard family, but the basic family members are always the same. You've got a father and a mother, and then a younger gentleman and lady ripe for marrying age in case romance should strike. You're also going to start with one of each of these 5 basic servants. Your reputation is going to start with the 1 token up and this little marker on the 1 space of the circle going around it. And every family also gets a bonus. In this case, the Howards are known for their amazing cook. And this is the family from the Upstairs Downstairs expansion, and that introduces some new servants, including the cook. Additionally, you're going to start with 5 tiles that make up your country estate. And these are always the same for all 5 families, although again, one of them has a bonus of an extra tile. And you'll see the tiles come in 5 colors, and you're going to kind of be building out these columns to match the strategy you want to pursue. Next, you're going to set up the round board, which is represented by the beautiful Alderley Hall, which is where the Fairchild children have recently come, the talk of the town. Everyone wants to marry them. You're going to shuffle up these courtship cards that will determine how you can win one of their hands. These victory point cards that you and the AI will be drawing. You'll have them next to the board as you try to woo them as the game progresses. And you'll put this white pawn on the 1 start space. And I'm on the normal game side here, where it lasts 16 rounds. But there's also an extended game on the back that gives you kind of more combos and synergy and more time to build out your estate overall. Finally, you're going to set up the main Derbyshire board. You've got your money supply here. You've got all these extra servants for hire. This is more than I'll need, but I just wanted to have a safe supply. You have these guests that live in and around Derbyshire that you might get introduced to in 2 levels. These easier to befriend common guests and these prestige guests with the 2 fleur-de-lis symbols here. And you've got the Builder's Market, which we're going to fill right now. And how that works is you've got this massive bag, and with all the expansions, this thing is chock full. And I've added to it all the tiles in the game, plus 3 monuments. And I'm going to draw tiles out to fill these 6 spaces. But I'm only going to keep tiles that have a 1 through 3 in the bottom left corner, or tiles that have this service keyword in the bottom left. Anything else I draw, a monument or something with a 4 through 6 in the bottom left corner, gets shuffled back in the bag after I've found my 6 tiles. And once I have my 6 tiles, I'm going to organize them in ascending order from left to right by these little numbers here. So the servants' quarters, which is a 25, would be to the left of the breakfast room, which is a 55. Now, a few more steps coming back to my player board. I do start with 2 bonus guests that are connections my family has already made. And what I'm looking for are cards from the basic pile that have this little crown icon. So here I've got Obadiah Beale, the son of a wealthy Matlock rector. Young Obadiah appears to prefer society to following in his father's footsteps. Oh, abandoning the church. And then Major William Hawes, a well-known explorer. He led a successful expedition up the Zambezi. So they join my initial family members in my active hand of gentry. I'm also going to draw 5 random objective cards, which will give me ways to potentially earn more victory points as the game goes along. I'm also going to pick my difficulty by choosing a solitaire opponent card. And using the Upstairs Downstairs expansion in solo tends to make the game a little bit easier, so I'm going with an expert card. We'll see if I have a chance. And speaking of Upstairs Downstairs, when playing with that expansion, I also get to do a draft of 1 extra servant at the start of the game. I can't choose this black-colored servant, the Under Butler. So instead, I think I'll get a useful man worker who will help me pay less for the buildings I install on my estate and other things. And with that, we're ready to begin the game. So to go through the basic idea of the game, you're trying to earn the most victory points and the most prestige for your house by getting the best connections, marrying into the wealthy Fairchild family, building the most beautiful estate you can, completing objectives, lots of ways to score points here. And in solo specifically, you have to beat the score of the solo card you've chosen in addition to any victory point cards they earn. In terms of the actual structure of the game, you'll have a series of rounds, 1, 2, 3, and then after every 3 rounds in the standard game length, you'll get to a courtship round. And a courtship round is basically a null round. You won't perform any actions or really do anything there. You'll just find out in the solo game what the Fairchilds like and see whether you or the AI is being more successful in wooing them. There are some special icons on these spaces here. We'll talk about them as they come up, but the basic idea is you get these 16 rounds, although it's really 12 with the courtships being kind of skipped. And after the final courtship, you compare your victory points and see who wins. You're going to begin each round, except for the first, by rotating your service. You've got all of these servants working for your households and helping to tend to your guests. And whenever you use one of them, they're going to, at the end of the round, go to the expended service space. They're a little bit tired. You can't rely on them for a few days. So when you rotate the service at the start of each round, any servants in your servants' quarters come to the available space, and everyone in the expended service space comes to servants' quarters. So they're basically out of commission for 1 round, generally. Next, you resolve any events on the round track, things like the village fair, drawing more objective cards, or the builder's holiday or national holiday. And then you get to the main meat of the game, which is engaging in social activities, hosting those activities, and trying to get your family prestige. You begin the step of hosting an activity by choosing which of your tiles will be the subject of that activity, and you'll see that each of the tiles has not only the name of what the tile location is, but also what the activity is for that nice thematic element. So here you're playing whist, which if you don't know is an offshoot or kind of a precursor to bridge. And you can't really have an event in society without having people to partake in it, so you get to invite guests, and you have to invite the exact number indicated. So here, 2 ladies, although if it said the more generic gentry, they could be of either gender. And for an example of this one, here at the start, I only have 2 ladies, my mother and daughter of the family, so they could be the 2 playing whist. Now, once you've determined the activity and the guests, you have to provide service to them and make sure they're enjoying themselves. Each activity tile will indicate a servant that will have to run that activity. In this case, this footman will run the bowling on the green. And then many guests, except your family, of course, will require 1 or more servants to tend to them. I mean, you wouldn't dare invite Major William Hawes bowling if you didn't have a valet to tend to his every whim, would you? Finally, you get to enjoy the favors that come as a result of your activity. The tile itself will generally give you a reward, and the guests that participate will as well. The 3 main types of rewards are pounds, which will give you money to purchase new tiles, reputation, that'll improve your family's standing, and how that works mechanically is each point will advance you around this circle, and whenever you go from 5 to 1, you're going to place the new highest number face up, and this large overall prestige rating will determine what types of activities you can hold at your estate and how fashionable and famous your guests will be that attend. And the final reward is getting introduced to new connections because you're not going to make it in this world with just 6 people to your name. Those rewards will indicate whether you draw from the basic or prestige pile, and those go straight to your active hand, so you can invite them to another event on a following round. Finally, the last choice for you on each round is whether you want to buy a tile from the builder's market. And you'll see that the least expensive tile is on the left for 300 and the price goes up, although some tiles will have an increase or a discount to that price based on the relative strength. So the servants' quarters in the 300 pound area would actually cost you 400. Finally, you clear your board at the end of the round. Any guests that attended your activity go to your discard pile, and they're not going to come back until you skip an entire round just to kind of rest and relax with your estate. Any servants that helped with the activity are going to go to the expended servant space and will be out of commission for a round. And a final important note, any activity you completed, if it's not on its rose side yet, will rotate to its rose side. And that will usually change the victory point value of the tile, generally increasing it, the rewards you get, even the activity itself sometimes. Now you have 4 additional servant types in the upstairs-downstairs expansion. I've got 2 of them. And they're a little different in that they can modify activities you're already doing. So they're never generally required by the tiles and activities. Instead, you can put them on for little bonuses, like your cook can cook for the guests while they're bowling or what have you, and give yourself a little bit of reputation. Now, the AI doesn't really do anything. Their score is basically set. But at the end of each round, you're going to roll a d20, and you'll discard a tile potentially, unless they roll really high. And if there's a monument out there, they have a higher chance of discarding the monument itself. But that's it for the AI turn. You roll a die, you throw something away possibly, and you're done. And finally, before we get to the game, let's talk a bit about courtship and winning over these Fairchilds. So whenever you get to a courtship round, like I said, you don't do anything, you can't buy anything, your servants don't refresh, it's basically a non-turn. What you do instead is flip over the top courtship card, and it will indicate one of the 5 tile types in the game. And what you'll do then is see how you compare to the AI for that tile type. The AI will tell you for each of the 4 courtships what their values are for each suit or tile type, so here for essentials, they're a 0. And as for the player, they'll total up all the victory point values of all the tiles of that type. So here I would have won with 3 victory points to 0. Now in the solo game, no matter what, win or lose, the AI is going to get a random victory point card that'll give them some bonus points. You just put it face down next to their card. But the player only gets one of these if they tie or exceed the AI. And these cards give you a choice. They either have a victory point value they're worth at the end of the game, or they have a bonus that you can use at any time by discarding the victory point card. Additionally, if you win, one of the Fairchilds is enchanted by your estate and decides to spend the season with you, so you get to pick either Charles or Miss Elizabeth, and you add their card to your active hand so you can play them just like any other gentry in the following rounds. Now when you get to the final courtship, you're going to take the 3 cards you already revealed and reveal a 4th one, and you're going to total up the victory points for all those tile types for both you and the AI. You still get a victory point card if you tie or win. But if you win outright, you've secured a marriage with one of these 2, and you earn the 8 victory points for doing so. So there you go, those are the core rules, and our family is hungry for advancement. Let's see what we can make happen. So let's begin planning our first activity, and let's go through these starting tiles. So first of all, 2 of our family members could plan a village fair at the private study, and that's going to give us a bunch of money and reputation twice throughout the entire game, if we do it early. Second is a very basic action, the butler's room. That's how we get more servants. But with the upstairs-downstairs expansion, you get to do that for free whenever you pass and get all your cards back, so we're never going to use that otherwise. The main gazebo is a quick way to get a prestige guest and get some connections, although until we get a reputation hub, they're not going to pay any attention to us. Speaking of reputation, playing some whist with our ladies will boost that up quickly. And the final starting tile is the bowling green, where 2 people can go bowling and share trade advice to get us some cash, which we need to get any tiles, and we want to get some of those pretty quickly. So yeah, I think a little bowling's in order to start out, and I'll need my footman to organize it. And I need to select 2 gentry to participate. Now, I really care more about connections and money at first. So I think James, the Earl of the family, who can get us $200 in tax revenue, will go bowling with Obadiah, even though he should be attending to his church services. Although, actually I have an abundance of staff at the moment, so let's have the major go bowling with me instead. So we will require a valet, but that's it for servants. And I'm gaining 200 pounds, 2 reputation, and another 300 pounds, so 500 overall. A great successful activity. And we're part of the way to level 2 prestige. But both the Major and the Earl are a bit tired, so they'll go to the discard pile, as will my valet and footman. And I will see if there's any tiles I want to buy to expand my estate. I have 500 pounds, and I should spend it. But first I might want to consider what objectives I'm pursuing. I start with 5 cards. I'm going to get 2 more later on, and I'll end up with 3 of them by the end of the game. Now, 3 of them are focused on servants. I would have to get 2 more ladies' maids since I have 1, or 2 more of the upstairs-downstairs servants since I have 2, or 13 servants overall. And that one, I'm going to say, is almost impossible in a standard-length game. I just can't build my servants' pool that much. And honestly, getting both of these is also fairly difficult, so I think I might go for one or the other. But then here's a fairly nice little combo. 1 victory point for every estate tile, and then a nature group for 11 victory points, which are 2 estate tiles. I need a flower room and a garden, neither of which are on the builder's market right now. But so for the moment, that's kind of my strategy. Get some more servants and get some estate tiles and see how it goes. But the only available estate tile is a bit too pricey for me. So looking at the servants' quarters for 400, this is a really useful one. It doesn't ever become an activity. That's what this little ongoing symbol means. But what it does do is let me pull a servant from the servants' quarters once per round. So like here, where we'll be at the beginning of the next round, normally these 2 would be unavailable, but now I could use one of them because they're just so energized and love working for the Howard family. So that is a great first buy, but I could also get some lawn tennis, another sporting tile, and get myself even some more money. But I have no idea yet if the Fairchilds like sports. So I think I'll go for the safe one and get my servants happy. That's going to leave me with 100 pounds. It was pretty pricey, and it goes right there in the same column. Now, whenever you buy a tile, all of them fill into the left, and you add to the rightmost side. And whoa, this is early. I drew one of the 3 monuments that started in the bag. You'll see they are super expensive, plus 300, so this one would be 1,100 pounds to get some gargoyles. But they're worth a ton of victory points, and they give you a reputation at the beginning of every single round because people are just impressed by how nice your estate is. So it's cool if you can afford to get one early on, but I clearly couldn't. Oh, speaking of affording, I forgot that I have this special servant here. The useful man can do a whole bunch of stuff, but one thing he can do is help me install things onto my estate for cheaper. So by putting him in the exhausted space with my valet and my footmen, I actually spend 100 pounds less, so now I have 200 left instead of 100. And I nearly forgot to flip my bowling green, so now it's gone from -3 victory points to +2, but it'll get me less money if I go bowling again. Alright, now let's roll to see if the AI takes anything. They got a 12, which would normally be the 4th tile over, but when there's a monument it changes a little bit, and now it's the 2nd. So the breakfast room is gone. They don't gain anything for that. It just clears it out to keep the market moving. Ooh, now I've got a private family chapel where I can hold a christening, but geez, 2 family members and 3 gentry, and the butler, that is a tough one. I didn't mention it in the rules explanation, but this big number here is the minimum prestige your family has to hold to do the task. And speaking of prestige and reputation, I'm sorry, I forgot to use my cook. You can employ your cook when you do any activity, and what they first do is lower the prestige level of people you can invite. So if I had this guest who normally is a prestige level of 6, the cook would make her a 5 instead, so that if my prestige level was a little bit lower, I could still bring her over with the promise of delicious food. But additionally, whenever you employ them, you gain 1 reputation from the activity, so closer to level 2. But that does mean that most of my staff is now exhausted. Moving on to round 2, we're almost to the first village fair. My service rotates, but I will be able to, with my servants' quarters, use one of these 4 if I'd like to. And now I have to pick my activity, and the big question is, do I want to plan for the village fair or not? Because if I do, both next turn and at the second village fair on round 9, I'm going to get 300 pounds and 2 reputation. Pretty nice. But here's where the choice gets complicated. Engaging in that work of drudgery actually lowers the victory point value of this private study, and that would make me tie with the AI for essentials instead of beating them if the Fairchilds happen to like that color of tile. And also by going to the private study, I'm neglecting another one of the colors, which again would mean that the Fairchilds are that much less likely to come to my estate. Because right now I'm only beating the AI in sporting, so unless the Fairchilds like to bowl, they won't come to see me. And you know what? What the hey? I'm going to ignore the village fairs, because I usually go for them, but I want to play dangerously this time. So I've got both my ladies ready to make us some connections. Let's go ahead and play whist. And my red housekeeper servant will run this activity, and I need 2 ladies, which will be the mother and daughter of the household. Beautiful Lady Diana and the Countess Victoria. And they live here, so they don't need any special service. They're good to go. Now, but don't forget that I can use my servants' quarters to pull out one of these. I could have the cook raise my reputation up, but I'm actually going to wait and use him to decrease the cost of my tile again. You'll see why in a moment. So mother and daughter enjoy a lovely game of whist and talk about the new arrivals in town. And everyone, I guess, is just so impressed that we just have the time to play cards that we gain 3 reputation. That's going to take us 1, 2, 3. We are now prestige level 2, which means we can do 2 level activities and invite 2 level guests. Now, the daughter of each family has the same ability where if you invite a prestige guest, one of those level 2 guests that's a male to the same activity as her, you also gain some reputation because everyone's talking about how they might get hitched. But for now, I just get a new basic guest. And ooh, it looks like Lady Diana has met Sir William Hawke. The wealthy family of Sir William has done well investing in India, a possession he has visited several times. Calling a country a possession, not so nice, you English jerk. But he can bring 200 pounds to my estate with Indian interests, nice. And meanwhile, Victoria and all the matrons or mothers of the family have the same power. They can either get rid of a guest from your deck, because you'll sometimes have ones from America and stuff that aren't really helping your family's reputation much, or a really nice power, you can draw 2 basic guests and pick 1 to add to your hand. I'm going to do that. So let's see what our options are. We've got Sir Wallace Carter, recently returned to Derbyshire after 2 mysterious years abroad. Now, he's worth 2 victory points, whereas this guy's worth none, but he is a level 2 guest, which means we have to have enough prestige to invite him. And look, his mysterious past might come up. Anytime we invite him, we have to roll the d20. If we get a 19 to 20, it is a huge embarrassment that comes out while he's at our house, and we lose 4 reputation. Yikes. Instead, we could go the safe route and talk to Roger Haskell, Esquire. The diminutive Mr. Haskell is prone to embellish the tales of his travels on the continent, but they both give me 100 pounds. But he's worth victory points, and look, he doesn't require any service. He's such a gentleman. I don't believe his past is as bad as they say. Let's add him to our friend list. And the guy unchosen goes to the bottom of the deck. Alright, but both these cards get discarded. She is expended. And I've got 200 pounds. Let's head to the market and see what new things our estate might need. So if I use my useful man, I could afford the tennis courts, which were normally 300, but he would make them 200, just what I have. On the other hand, I would really like to start getting estate tiles since one of my objectives has them, but this is a level 3 prestige tile, so I don't know if it's worth getting since I want to be able to take advantage of it for a while. Oh, but oh no, if I get the tennis courts, they start out at -1, which means my victory point sporting value would be tied with the AI, and I would miss the chance to get the Fairchild's attention if they're into sports. Decisions. Yeah, I think I need more money, and I'm just worried I won't get the reputation quickly enough, so I'm going to go for the tennis court. That costs all of my pounds with the useful man's discount. And he's now also expended, and my parlor gets flipped. Now we can start using it as a casino with 3 ladies. They are into their cards, but it wouldn't get us as much reputation the second time. Our new tile is, the Cabinet of Curiosities. Look at the reputation it could earn for us. If the AI doesn't take it, although they're more likely to go for the monument. And indeed, a 7 when a monument is out will get rid of it. Again, they don't gain it, but neither do I. Oh, but now I have the chance to get an ornamental hermitage and recruit a hermit? What? Well, I guess it's really prestigious to have the hermits hanging around your place. And now there's a fabulous village fair, and we do not get to benefit from it at all. Although if I had not used the useful man for his discount, I could have actually used him to get plus 200 pounds from the fair, even though we aren't really celebrating it. But oh well, let's rotate our service. So almost everybody's available again. And we've done a good job making more connections, because once your cards start running out, you have to take a pass turn where you basically do nothing except hire some new servants and potentially buy something. Ooh, if we do lawn tennis right now, we'll flip it to its positive side and pass the AI again. Let's do that and just get a ton of money going. Okay, so we're going to need 2 gentry and a footman to run everything, and it's going to get us 300 pounds to start. Oh, and we are barely at 2 prestige level. Awesome. And that also means we can take a chance and invite the mystery man. Although first and foremost, let's get Sir William Hawke coming, because his India futures are definitely interesting to us. And he'll have a valet to help. And actually, I guess I have a choice. I could just have Thomas, my son, do it, or I could again take a chance with Sir Wallace. Yeah, they're both going to earn me 100, or I can get a reputation, which I don't need yet. Or actually, maybe I'll invite Obadiah, since I kind of shunned him for the bowling before, and he can get me a new connection, because my hand is getting pretty thin. Yeah, let's do that. Let's get both the young men talking. So that's going to get me 500 pounds overall. And then Obadiah's going to introduce us to a new acquaintance. Oh no, he is a cad, -2 victory points. He holds an ancient title, but rumors of the poor treatment of young ladies follow him. Oh man, I don't want this guy associated with my family. So this is a perfect example of why the mother's ability to lay down the law and kind of unassociate with a guest is great, because this guy's just going to be kind of a hanger-on with my neck for a while. Oh, and you know what? I could have used the cook to get a reputation. Let's do that. And I have the useful man ready from the servants' quarters again to save me 100. So speaking of, with the discount of my 500 pounds, I could get the private family chapel. Or I could get an aviary. Oh my gosh, I need 3 prestige and 4 people to go there. Although that's sometimes a good thing. If you have a ton of people, you get all of their bonuses because you're holding a main event. I would get introduced to a prestige guest. Oh, and then, wow, on the other side, I could admire the new Popinjay and just get a ton of new people introduced to me. But it's 500, and I'm not prestigious enough to even use it yet. I could instead go for the Gable Conservatory, but it needs 3 ladies, and I haven't met another one yet, so I guess I'll go for the Manor Aviary. So with the useful man's discount, it'll just cost me 400, so I'll have 100 pounds left. And we're filling with another breakfast room. And another rule, if you have the same tile multiple times, you stack them on top of each other, they don't actually each take up an individual space. Roll for the AI. A 9 means they'll get rid of that private family chapel. And we'll have a north dining room where we can hold a formal dinner with 5 people. Wow. And oh my gosh, the Fairchilds are coming around to make introductions. And what are they interested in? If it's prestige or sporting, I got them. Yes! And just to show you, the AI has 1, and we have 2 plus 3, 5, so we easily beat them here. The Fairchilds have heard all about my bowling and lawn tennis, and they want a part of it. So this card will stay around, because remember, the final courtship will now be partially based on sporting. The AI gets a victory point card face down, because they always do, but I also do. And this card is either 3 victory points at the end, or I can build more than 1 tile in a given turn, if I ever have enough money for that. But the true boon is that I get to have one of the Fairchilds over. I'm going to go for Miss Elizabeth, because I don't know very many ladies yet, and she'll introduce me to the finest of people, whereas Charles kind of boosts my reputation more. Although she does only hang around until the next courtship event, and then she might become fickle and go hang out with the Gladstones instead. Now, a very important final step of each courtship event is that you need to choose one objective to get rid of. And I already said this one's basically impossible in a standard length game, so we're not going to try for that. And remember, that is it, so we go right to round 5. And you'll see this note at the bottom that says Begin Service Tile Reserve. And basically this is going to clean out the weakest tiles from the market. If there were any service tiles in the supply, there aren't, they would immediately go over here. And it would be kind of a stack that you could always buy from for 300 plus or minus its modifier. And that'll also apply to any new service tiles drawn, so we'll kind of cycle through them faster. And the same thing happens after the second courtship. 2 tiles that have a prestige value, the little value of how high your prestige has to be, of 1. So they'll come over here, and we'll get to just the biggest tiles. Alright, we are cycling up. And I could pass to get everybody back, but with Miss Elizabeth here, I think I'm definitely going to try to get an activity going with her and my son. Ooh, what could they do? What could they do? They could have afternoon tea in the main gazebo. That would get rid of the -2 victory points on that. Or we could invite all 4 of them into the poultry fanciers, but I don't think I have enough staff for that. So let's go for afternoon tea. And whatever shall they talk about, the footmen will organize it. And Miss Elizabeth, of course, needs a lady's maid. I mean, look at this. The stunning and elegant niece of Margaret Fairchild is an accomplished musician who will hold her lute or her violin. I don't know. And then, yeah, Mr. Tragic Story over here wants to get in on this, but no, I don't think so. We're going to have Thomas. And let's see. I could pull the cook up to add an extra reputation, or I could keep my useful man to save some money. Yeah, I think I might want to buy something again this coming round, so I'll keep the useful man for now. So we're about to get some major connections. Because the main gazebo introduces me to a prestige guest? Oh, it's another major, Anthony Cole. He just loves his tea. He's a war hero, but the loss of his legs requires extra care and attention. Wow, he needs 2 servants to attend to him, but gets us a ton of reputation and 3 victory points just for having him in our deck. Miss Elizabeth will also introduce us to somebody. Oh, it's Sir Alistair Leese. The mysterious Sir Alistair has traveled the world and is rumored to prefer questionable company. Oh no, look! While he's in my deck, he won't let me get rid of the cad who's giving me negative victory points. What are you guys doing to me? And what is up with all these mysterious people traveling the world? I just have a odd circle of friends here. And yeah, I can't even play this guy for quite a while. But whoa! 600 pounds every time I get him? Yes, I want to get 4 prestige. And speaking of, Miss Elizabeth will get me almost to 3. And then for Thomas, I can either get 100 pounds or another reputation, which will get me to level 3 prestige. But if I do that, I won't be able to buy anything. Actually, you know what I think? I think I'm not going to buy anything, and I think I'll take the reputation to get to level 3 prestige. Because I'd like to get something going with Sir Alistair in a second for all that money, and the cook will let me invite him since she can lower the requirement by 1. Oh, actually, wait, if I'm going to do that, I might as well use the cook because I won't be able to buy anything with the useful man, so she'll get me the 1 reputation, and then Thomas can give me 100 pounds anyway. Alright, the main gazebo flips. And with only 200 pounds and no way to get a discount, I can't buy anything. But the AI might. Yep, 14, they're getting rid of another breakfast room. They just hate those things. Oh, and now we get a morning room for planning the day. Nothing special, just lets us invite a mix of people, and it doesn't cost very much. Or at least it won't if it gets all the way down here. Alright, important round coming up. After we cycle our service, we get 2 more objective cards. And remember, we're going to discard down to 3 by the end of the game. But these are the last ones we'll see new. But before that, let's move things right along. Get an under butler. That requires a specific tile that hasn't come out yet. Or 1 per prestige. I only have 1 of them so far. So neither of those looks great. I mean, honestly, none of these are really blowing me away. Unless these correct things come up, but that's about the only good one. And I'm going to make a tough choice here because I realize I don't have any activities I can do because I would need the footman and the cook to get Sir Alistair in there. And I would also love the chance to hang out with Miss Elizabeth one more time, so I'm going to pass my turn, which means I get all these people back, I get all my servants to available, and then I can either gain 200 pounds, refresh the entire market, discard everything and draw new tiles, or hire 2 servants by sending my butler to the butler's room. And that's the only cost of this one. I'm going to flip it, and it's going to be worth 1 victory point now. And I can pick any 2 servants. Remember, if I get 2 more ladies' maids, I'll get 6 victory points. If I get the other 2 upstairs, downstairs people, I'll get 4. I'm sure you want to see the expansion stuff, so let's get them. So I'll get a hall boy. He can either substitute for the butler on a tile that requires him, or the thing I use him more regularly for, if he tends to a guest who already gives me pounds, I get 100 more pounds. And then the head housemaid can substitute for a housekeeper on a guest that requires her. Or the other thing she can do is trigger when I invite a new guest, and I get to draw an extra one and pick which one I want, so I have less chance of getting more of those negative ne'er-do-wells. Now they go to the expended service, and so does the butler. And that's it for my entire turn, except I do still get to buy something if I want to. And with a useful man available, heck yes, I'm going to get something for 300. And in this case, that'll be the Gabled Conservatory. We can hold a lovely indoor constitutional with some ladies and just get a ton more guests to show up. The new tile is a West Terrace where my family can admire the view. See what the AI does? And on a 16 to 19, they don't buy anything, but that means they'll roll a -5 next time. I just usually put the die on this space to remind me. Okay, here we go. Almost time for another courtship. So I'm certainly going to get Miss Elizabeth Fairchild involved. And I think the best thing to do with all my cards back is to do this meeting of poultry fanciers, because that'll get me a ton of stuff. So I need 4 people for that, and the footman's over here. She needs to be waited on by her. As long as I bring my cook along, I'll lower his needed prestige by 1 because of the lovely food. So now I can invite him with a valet. And since he's a prestige guest, Lady Diana is super excited to hang out with him because that'll get me more reputation, although I don't know if I want her to be seen around with that guy. And let's bring my daddy along as well because I want to get a bunch of money. All right, quite a crew. And sure, I might as well bring along the little boy. He can wait on Sir Alistair and get me an extra 100. So first I get a prestige guest who just hears about my aviary meeting. It's Lady Isabel Hawthorne. The generous but opinionated Lady Isabel decries the plight of domestic staff and refuses service on principle. Oh, and her ability is pretty awesome. Any casual guest, the level 1 people, they won't require any service while she's with them. Her kind of force of personality convinces them not to have valets and such. Oh, and I can't forget the 1 reputation from having the cook. 2 more from Miss Elizabeth. Awesome. And she brings another prestige guest. I'm getting a bunch. Count Dmitry Konstantinov. Hailing from St. Petersburg, the Count has spent a decade in London society. He visits Derbyshire to hunt, and look how many people he can introduce me to. And now the big one, Alistair is getting me 700 pounds. You are shady but profitable, sir. And because Lady Diana is so happy to be with Alistair, she's introducing me to a regular casual guest again. Miss Caroline West. Miss West's fortune comes from trade, and she has managed it shrewdly. All right, cool. I got another lady. I'm happy about that. But then I also get 2 more reputations, so I'm up to 4 prestige, and the max is 7 in the standard length game. And then finally, the Earl gets me another 200, 900 pounds. That's what I like to see. Remember, that does wipe out most of my service staff and a bunch of cards from my guest list. But ooh, we can buy something. As goofy as it is, I'm actually thinking about the Cabinet of Curiosities, because the 4 victory points would put me over the AI in case they like prestige tiles. And heck, I don't mind getting 6 reputation from it, jeez. Although I need 5 to even use it, so I'm not there yet. Although, ooh, I can use the Useful Man to lower the prestige requirement of a place by 1, so I could go into the cabinet with my Useful Man helping. Alright, I think I will get this one. So that'll be 500, I'm back down to 4. Oh, now there's a cricket field, we can host a local match. 5 gentlemen? I don't know if we'll ever get that high. What's the AI going for? 11, but remember it's -5 from last time. So they'll get rid of the Ornamental Hermitage. Oh no, our hermit! And I just drew 2 service tiles, a renovated kitchen and a carriage house, but those go immediately over here, and I keep drawing until I get a West Saloon where I can hold a huge formal gathering. Geez, 7 people. That would be pretty cool. But no time for that. The Fairchilds are revealing more about themselves. I immediately put Miss Elizabeth back to see if I can attract her again. And let's see what they like besides sports. Oh no, they like to have a ton of service, and I'm pretty sure I lose on that one. Yeah, the AI is going to be quite weak on all the seasons. They have only 3, but I've got just 1 too. Oh well. AI gets a face-down victory point card like always, but I get nothing. No one's visiting me this season. I just don't have enough cool servant things. And once again, I have to ditch one of these. I might get the underbutler thing. That's possible. So let's get rid of the 2 more ladies' maids one. Well, actually, though, should I? Because there's a pretty good chance I'll have to pass 1 more time, and I could hire more people. This one is not happening. Prestige, I don't have a ton of. Okay, I'm going to get rid of the underbutler one, because I just assume I'm not going to buy that. But that's okay, because it's time for a raucous village fair that I benefit from not at all. And now we're beginning that reserve of prestige level 1 tiles. So our morning room immediately pops out and makes space for more. In this case, a billiards room. All right, my people are moving up. And by the way, something I haven't mentioned yet, you have these things called special actions that you can actually spend your reputation for to gain bonuses. So I can, like, for example, scoot my reputation back to, going back down to prestige level 3 to gain 100 pounds whenever I want. Basically, I'm borrowing and begging for money and not looking too hoity-toity while doing it. You can also immediately refresh a servant for 3 or refresh the entire builder's market for 4. But like I planned, I think I gotta do this Cabinet of Curiosities. Let's enter the cabinet. I don't have a footman, so I'll have to use my once per turn servant's quarter ability to get him. I'll need to use my useful man to even make me allowed to do it because it's 5 prestige and I only have 4. And I can invite 2 people, and I don't have a ton of servants left. Let's see, I think I'll invite young Thomas and Miss Caroline West. They can talk about business with each other. And you'll see Miss West requires a lady's maid, but I can have the main housekeeper sub in anytime I want for that. Alright, so there we go. We're going to gain 6 reputation, and we'll go for 200 pounds. So if that's an entire rotation plus 1, we're up to 5 prestige. And the cabinet's worth 7 victory points now, although it's not as impressive if people come again, even with the new attractions. All right, I have 600. I think maybe I'll go for this drawing room. I don't really need more reputation, but I can always trade it in for money, so it won't hurt me. And it's already 2 victory points by itself. It goes up to 5. That's pretty good. So sure, that'll cost me 3 of my 600. And the sports just keep on coming. Now we have a croquet lawn. And the AI goes for 6, which is the West Terrace. Okay, we got the riding stables. Ooh, English Garden. That's one of the 2 gardens with the other tile that will get me those 11 points. I'll definitely try to look into getting that. All right, we're moving towards our 3rd courtship. And we got most of our servants available again. And let's see, if I want to keep on getting victory points, I want to either do the Receive Visitors Drawing Room or the Gabled Conservatory to meet some more people. But the conservatory requires 3 ladies. I only have 2 in my deck right now, so we'll go for the drawing room. Okay, the butler or the hall boy has to do that one. We'll send the butler. And we need 3 gentry. Let's send our Russian count. I know he loves talking in the drawing room, and he'll introduce us to the best people. I would like some more money, so let's get Mr. Hawk with his Indian fortunes in there again. And you might say, hey, I don't have 2 valets. How can you do that? It's Miss Hawthorne to the rescue. We don't need any servants. Now, the Count will not care because he is a prestige guest, but at least for the casual guest, Sir William, it'll be all right. And let's see. I think I will go ahead and gain an extra 100. And while I'm at it, I might as well gain a reputation from my cook. Ooh, and I think if I put her on the Count, I get to screen both the guests he gives me, which is amazing. And I still haven't used my bonus extra use, so I think I'll get the useful man to give me a $100 discount in a minute. So we gain 3 reputation. Wow, we're up to 6, so just 1 away from max. Then we're gaining 400 pounds and getting introduced to 2 more people. And for each, we're screening, so here's our casual. Okay, they're both worth 0. They both don't need any service. Holy crap, Aston Webb, the celebrated architect, is sought after for his rapier wit as well as elegant designs. When I play him, he will get me a tile for free, although then I put him back at the bottom of the deck. Wow, I don't think I even need to read your description. Sorry, lady. Now, who does the Count introduce me to from the Prestige group? Thomas Allen Hurt. The clumsy Mr. Hurt has pronounced stutter, but over time, all come to adore his warmth and sincerity. On draw, I would have to lose 3 reputation, but I think if I'm screening, I can ignore that. But he gives me a victory point he's worth 4. But who are you? Lady Alexandra Suffolk. The stunning daughter of Marquess Suffolk is an accomplished musician, 3 reputation, and introducing me to another prestige. Yeah, sorry, buddy. I am prestigious enough to talk to her, so that's great. Oh man, thank you, Sir Count. That was awesome. And don't forget, I'm going to have a minus 100 discount if I buy anything this turn. I have enough to just go straight to the English Garden, but it'll probably stay around if I hang out, or I can even play that Architect Guide to get it for free. See, I'm going to hope that they don't buy it. And I'm thinking maybe I'll get the cricket match, because look, it gets me a ton of money, and then once I do it, it's worth 6 victory points, which will put me over the AI for that part of the winning of their favor. So that would cost me 500, then I get the 100 discount. And now there is a drawing room to receive visitors. And not too interested in that. The AI, 20. That means they're actually going to refresh the entire market, which no, wait, English Garden. Oh, I was going to say I didn't care, but yes, I did. And whenever somebody refreshes the market, you reorder the new tiles by these numbers at the bottom, just like at the beginning of the game. All right, now, a positive side to things, the flower room that I need with the gardens did come out for pretty cheap. And there is a way to use the useful man to dig for a tile near the end of the game if you really need it for an objective, so if I get the flower room, I should be safe getting the other garden, the French garden. Alright, in the last round before the 3rd courtship, we have a builder's holiday. That just means we can build as many places as we want. Again, I don't think I'll have the money. And I'm very low on staff this round. Maybe I should hire some more? Oh, I think I'd rather have some cash first. Do I have 5 gentlemen that I could send to the match? I have 6 gentlemen, but a lot of them require valets. Yeah, 3 of them do, so I'm pretty far off from being able to do that. Ooh, but I never did the Gabled Conservatory, but do I have 3 ladies now? No, I used 1, so I still just have 2. Yeah, I didn't plan this very well. I can't do any activity that would flip a new tile. Which makes me think maybe I pass? I'll get back a bunch of new people, and I probably wouldn't need to pass for the rest of the game. I hate to do it, but alright. So I'm going to pass, I'm going to get the 2 more purple servants, the ladies' maids I need. So I get everybody back. And I do have 300 to build something. I'll make it 400 with my useful man, because that'll exactly get me the flower room I want. Ooh, look what just came out, the English garden. So yeah, I think my architect friend is going to get that for me. Assuming the AI doesn't throw it away. 18, no purchase, so they'll get a -5 next round. But first we have our 3rd courtship. Come on, Fairchilds, love me. Prestige. Do I win on that? I think I win on that. Oh yes, I'm a monster on Prestige. 5, 12, 14. So I not only beat them this season, but I'll be ahead of them next season as well. Cool. AI still gets a victory point card, but so do I. 5 victory points, or I can get a white, green, or purple servant immediately. I'll have to see if I need that second effect. And then it's not even a question. Miss Fairchild is definitely the one coming because I have so many ladies' maids to serve her with. I do have to get rid of my second to last objective. I'm going to get rid of one more. So I got that one. I got that one. Now this will be maybe 11 victory points. If I get that garden, this will be automatically 3. Yeah, let's go for the 11. All right, we only have 3 rounds left. And I'm feeling pretty good about my tiles. If I get the cricket field going in a second, that will put me ahead in sports. I'm already ahead in prestige. In service, I'm not too far behind. And then with the flower room flipped, if I can get my estate stuff going, I should be able to win. All right, my useful man comes back and be able to use him immediately. So I got everybody. Let's go all out. Definitely time for a cricket match. So I need 5 gentlemen. I need to have the servants to handle them. Definitely do the count again because he's awesome. So that can be my 1 valet. Let's get my friend the architect because he's going to get me that garden built. And then I have only 4 other gentlemen that don't need a servant. I'm still a little bit afraid of our mysterious friend there, so let's do both the son and father of the household plus Charles again. So got away with almost no service. Let's have the cook give us a reputation. And I can have my little useful guy get us some extra money. So we're earning 500, 600, 700, 900, yes! They were meeting a ton of people. Let's have her screen his again. Our casual friend, the Honorable Charles Beckton. Charles is the youngest of 3 sons of Viscount Harrow, destined for a small parsonage. Pretty good stuff there. Oh yeah, they're basically identical, except this guy needs some service to get out of here. All right, who does my good friend Count Dimitri invite for prestige? Both are 3 victory points. Okay, I know which one I have to pick. This is one of the promo characters. Sherlock Holmes, the renowned detective, fly fishes in Basel with Viscount Ashwood. So his special power is he gets rid of every negative person in my deck. But the problem is Sir Alistair still prevents that, so maybe I don't get Sherlock Holmes. Yeah, Peter Viscount Townsend. The Viscount is a superb and honored sportsman having traveled to India to hunt big game. Okay, I guess I'm going for him. Then this guy just introduces me to a casual guest, John Ambrose Esquire. The family of the handsome Mr. Ambrose has little wealth, but boasts an illustrious genealogy. I don't think I'm ever using you, buddy. Get out of here. And it was nice knowing you, Mr. Architect. Build me a garden. So I get this for free instead of paying 800, and I just got 1 victory point for another estate tile and 11 for getting the other thing I needed for my special one. Awesome. And I've got my useful man by using my servants' quarters, so I'll get 100 discount from whatever I buy. Maybe I'll just save up for the sculpture garden. Oh, wait, hold on. Let's not forget I can call in some favors. So I've got, 900, 1,000. I need 1,100, so boom, go back down to 5, but I have got this. I'm going to gain 1 reputation at the start of each round, which is only 2 more rounds, but that's still cool. Of course, now I'm super broke, but I don't care. And we had a North Tower with a maps room come out, but let's see what the AI does. He's going to get rid of the North Dining Room. We got an East Lawn where we can make some balloons. That sounds fun. Okay, 2 real rounds left. The national holiday means we don't have to worry about prestige for this round, although I think we're high enough we won't care anyway. Oh, well, especially with our monument immediately giving us 1 to get back to 6. I definitely want to do a ladies thing this round, because look at all the ladies' maids I've got. I've got a bunch of estate ones I haven't flipped yet. The English Garden needs 3 ladies, and ooh, I would get to look at 2 of the prestige guests and pick one. That's pretty great, and it goes up to 5 victory points. Yeah, the flower room also gains 3, but it's not as good. And same for the conservatory. So let's go for the English Garden. So using the footman will be my free use from the exhausted place. I mean, of course, invite Miss Elizabeth Fairchild. Can't neglect her. And I'm sure she would be delighted to hang out with Lady Alexandra. And just for a little real-world experience, let's send in Miss Caroline, since she runs her own business. They might appreciate her view on things. So, oh my gosh, I'm getting a lot of stuff here. So first I get to look at 2 prestige guests and keep 1. And at this point I probably won't have much time for them, so let's just go for the guy worth more victory points. Thomas, Earl of Kellynch. The Earl is an avid sportsman traveling from estate to estate to hunt and ride. Okay, and then Elizabeth is going to give us another one. Lady Harriet Ott, the wife of a renowned fiery clergyman from Nottingham, is a devotee of country gardens. Well, that makes sense that she would hear about our garden. Awesome. Again, not sure I'll use her, but 1 victory point, I'll take it. And Elizabeth gives us 2 reputation, and then Alexandra gives us 3 more. We are at max, so we can spend some if we're going to gain some more, but until then, we are good. And then I get another prestige guess from her, and 100. I'm just meeting all the best people now. Louise, Countess Pembroke, the pleasant and well-connected Countess, is wife to the eccentric Earl Pembroke. All right. Everyone loves my garden. And I have $100 and no discount, so I'm certainly not going to buy anything. Although, I guess I could lower my reputation. I'm probably going to gain it back. Well, but the only thing I think I would get is the art gallery, and I can buy that next turn, probably. So let's hold off. Roll for the AI. Okay, 14 is position 5, so good, they won't steal my art gallery. And the last new tile we'll see is the retiring room, because we're going into the last real round. Oh man, here we go. All right, I have a bunch of servants ready to go. Oh, you know what, I gain 1 reputation from my monument, so I think I can go up like this and then still lose money. I don't know. You know what, honestly, this round I just want to use as many people as I can. So I'm going to do the English garden and just get a ton of stuff with a picnic. So I need to use my special tile to get my footman back. And I just want to invite my 5 best people that I can use. Yeah, I think we got to bring it Jerkface with his 600. Lady Harriet seems pretty solid. And we'll get our new friend the Countess, since we have our red that can sub in for a purple. And we'll send our daughter in, since Jerky Alistair is there. I don't know why she's hanging out with him so much. And let's send my mom in to protect her so we can hopefully get 1 more good guest. And let's see, we can get an extra $100 from him. We can have her screen whoever the Countess finds. And we can gain reputation, so we can get extra money if we need to. So we get a prestige person that we can dismiss 2 guests. Ooh, wow, 5 victory points? Glencora and Plantagenet Palliser, public figures. The renowned chancellor and a celebrated lady often travel to Derbyshire on holiday. Woohoo! And now I can dismiss 2 guests. So first I'm going to let Sir Alistair give me his 700. And then you, sir, are a scoundrel and have paid terrible attention to my daughter. Get out of here with your cad friend. Bye. Just to show you, by the way, that earned me 1 victory point overall, getting rid of him and then letting me get rid of the -2. Although, you know, I'm not 100% sure if I can dismiss somebody who's actually at the activity, but I think it's hilarious. We just threw him out, so that's fun. Okay, we get 100 here. We need to draw 2, keep 1. Not -2, so 1. There we go. Over here, we gain a reputation, another prestige guest, but we get to draw 2 because of our lady maid there. 4 or 3. Who are we getting? Ambrose, Marquess of Tetbury, owner of much of Bath. The Marquess frequents Rousley to fly fish, his passion. Nice. We get another basic guess and 2 more reputation. Well, let's go and just use that for 100 money. Oh no, he's a scoundrel, but my mom's there. She'll throw him away. Get out of here, trying to hang out with my daughter. And since we're ending the game anyway, I'll go ahead and use 2 rep to get another 100, because every 200 is worth a point. That'll be basically it. Let's see if we win our love and finish up the game. Oh wait, after I buy something, let's not be dumb. I'll spend 400 for the art gallery. And I'll put it on something we already know they like, the service category. Alright, here we go. We find out their final like. They like sports, they like service, they like prestige. Estate! Oh, I'm crushing on estate. You are done. Yes, I don't need to count it up. They're getting a victory point, but so am I. 3 more. Nice. And finally, we'll say that at the picnic, after we threw out that jerk and all his cad and scoundrel friends, Thomas finally proposed to Miss Elizabeth Fairchild, and they are to be wed. And I don't know, who is my daughter going to marry? Oh, you know, the Count had aspirations after her hand. That's why he's been hanging out so much. But she truly loves Sir Wallace. That's why he never did any activities. He was just writing her love poetry the entire time. But what about his secret past? Is it bad? Is it bad? It's not! Yay! So what's left is to total up our victory points and compare it to the AI. I'm feeling pretty confident about this one. First, our improvement tiles. Man, my estate's kind of run over. So I got 55 for these overall. Nice score. Okay, next I total up all of the victory points of the gentry. Man, I got a lot of friends there at the end. Look at my connections. That was 49 points. Now my objectives at the end, I have to throw 1 away. Let's see, I guess, yeah, this one is worth the least. So I've got 6 estate tiles, 6 from that, that's 12, 11 from that, that is 23. And my reputation was at max, that's worth 28. And man, this is going to be a bit of a round. Now I get 2 victory points for each servant, 4, 8, 10, 16, 18, 20, 22. 1 victory point for every $200 left over, so that would be 3, and if I cheated and wasn't allowed to get Alistair's money, that would be 0 instead. And finally, I get my victory point cards. I kept all of them, so that is 11 more. And wow, the grand total is 191. Oh, yeah, this is not going to be good for them. Like I said, with upstairs, downstairs, it tends to be a little bit easier. So yeah, they've got 4, 8, okay, they got 4 each, so that's 16, so 142. So I beat them by like 50. Take that, Gladstones. The Howard family is the best family. Boom! So that was Obsession in the solo play with the expansions. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you'd like to hear my thoughts on the solo game and the game overall, click the review link that just popped up. Good gaming, and I'll see you at the next stop.